Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I wanted to do another, October reading update. Once again, I read a ton of books, in this past week. And a lot of them were middle grade and or Babysitters Club books. Just to warn you, there will be some spoilers, for some of the Babysitters Club books because I just can't resist. And just like my reactions to them. So, hopefully you're not too into them, that you'll, I don't know, care. But yeah, I've been participating in a Babysitters Club read along with Sarah from the Bookish Knitter, except that I have gone way ahead of where they are because I was very eager to keep going with the ones that I'd never read before. So, yeah. So, anyway, I'll just get into the reading update. The first book that I finished last week was Wendersmith by Jessica Townsend. It's the second book in the Nevermore series. I gave it 5 stars, and I can't talk about it because it is the second book in a series. And, you know. So, yeah. But, pretty good series. I am just starting Hollowpox now, which is the third book in the series. And I heard there is a huge cliffhanger. So, I don't know how that works. But I may regret starting Hollowpox, but I can't help myself. Next, I read Christy and the Snobs, Babysitters Club book number 11. I give this one 4 stars. This is the first one of the ones that I hadn't read. So it was exciting. I love Christy. This is where she's kind of adjusting to the kids in her new neighborhood after she, you know, moves into her stepfather's mansion. He's a millionaire. And she thinks all the kids are snobs. So, notes from this book, there's a lot. First of all, death of a pet. Oof, that was worse than Old Yeller. Louis, rest in peace. Second, Christy says that only snobs have pools in their backyard. And she's, like, really upset because her stepfather, Watson, is thinking about building a pool. Christy, if that's true, I am going to stay with the snobs because the snobs are swimming and having fun. And I just, yeah, I want a house with a pool. And if that makes me a snob, I am a proud snob with a capital S. Also, this is the first book discussing Jeff, Dawn's brother's potential move back to California to live with his dad. I found it a little bit messed up because at one point Dawn's mom was like, maybe it was a mistake to send them to California to visit their dad because now he wants to live with him. I mean, that's kind of selfish. It's like, okay, I shouldn't have sent you to visit your dad that I, you know, essentially moved you away from because now you want to live with him. It's like, okay, so you're just never going to let him visit because then he'll miss him? I don't know. Anyway. And lastly, what is wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Pike? Why would you leave all of your children when they have chickenpox? You have 8 children, 7 of which have chickenpox, and you leave them with 2 teenagers because you need a break to go out for dinner? At least get a professional nanny to take care of those kids, or, I don't know. Maybe you don't get a break when you have 7 kids with chickenpox. Too bad. Yeah, I judge a lot of these parents for the reasons they leave their kids. And in this case, I'm judging them so hard. So, yeah, there's my thoughts on that one. Next is Claudia and the New Girl, Babysitters Club book number 12. Give this one 4 stars. I don't really have any particular thoughts on that one. You know, Claudia meets this artist who's obsessed with art, but to the point of neglecting everything else in her life. Friendships, you know, people, all that. So Claudia kind of gets sucked into that for a while. It's a whole thing. I don't know. Wasn't one of the most interesting. Next is Babysitters on Board. Babysitters Super Special, number 1. This is actually one of the ones I'd already read because it was available through Braille Institute when I was a kid. And rereading it was really fun. I gave this one 5 stars. All the Babysitters Club people go with Christy's family and the Pikes on a 3-day cruise followed, or 4-day cruise, or whatever. A cruise followed by a trip to Disney World. Like, the cruise takes them to Florida and they go to Disney World. And, like, this book brought back so many childhood memories of, like, wanting to go on an airplane so bad. Because when I'd first read it, I'd never been on a plane. And, like, Christy's never been on a plane. So the way she describes it made me want to go on one. And when I finally did, I kind of knew what to expect. So it was just really fun to reread. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And what else was in this one? Mark Kubacki. Oof. That was a crying session. I'm not going to say why, but yeah. Anyway, there's that one. Then we move on to things that are not Babysitter's Club related. I finally read Amari and the Night Brothers by B.E. Alston. I gave it 5 stars. So I'll read the description for this one. Quentin Peters was the golden boy of the Rosewood low-income housing projects, receiving full scholarship offers to 2 different Ivy League schools. When he mysteriously goes missing, his little sister, 13-year-old Amari Peters, can't understand why it's not a bigger deal. Why isn't his story all over the news? And why do the police automatically assume he was into something illegal? Then Amari discovers a ticking briefcase in her brother's old closet. A briefcase meant for her eyes only. There was far more to Quentin, it seemed, than she ever knew. He left her a nomination for a summer tryout at the secretive Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. Amari is certain the answer to finding out what happened to him, lies somewhere inside. If only she can get her head around the idea of mermaids, dwarves, yetis, and magicians all being real things. Something she has to insistently confront when she is given a were-dragon as a roommate. Amari must compete against some of the nation's wealthiest kids who've known about the supernatural world their whole lives and are able to easily answer questions like, which 2 great beasts reside in the Atlantic Ocean? And how old is Merlin? Just getting around the Bureau is a lesson alone for Amari, with signs like Department of Hidden Places, this way. Or is it? If that wasn't all enough, every Bureau trainee has a talent enhanced to supernatural levels to help them do their jobs. But Amari is given an illegal ability, as if she needed something else to make her stand out. With an evil magician threatening the whole supernatural world and her own classmates thinking she is an enemy, Amari has never felt more alone. But if she doesn't pass the 3 tryouts, she may never find out what happened to Quentin. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. This actually reminded me more of Harry Potter than Nevermore, like magical school, all the classes, the tasks. Like, this book really gives you the Harry Potter feels, so I suggest you read it. There's no swearing. It's clean. It's really fun. Great fantasy. Yeah, a lot of people read it. I'm pretty sure the first place I heard about it was the Currently Rating podcast, and I've had it on my TBR for years. And yeah, so anyway, there's that one. Then I read Goodbye, Stacy, Goodbye. I gave this 4 stars. I think it's book 13? Yeah. In the Babysitter's Club series. Stacy has to move back to New York City. Very sad. I didn't actually know she moved back for a while. See what I mean? Like, I'm learning so much, and I'm having, like, so many, like, moments of things from this series that I never knew. So, yeah. Then I read book 14, which is Hello, Mallory. I give them 3 stars. This is when Mallory enters the Babysitter's Club, and we also meet Jessie, because this is when Jessie moves in and Mallory befriends her. Jessie is black, and we see some really overt racism from the town towards Jessie and her family. Like, this one lady wouldn't let her kid play with Jessie's little sister. So, yeah, that was fun. Not. But, yeah, also, this book just kind of sucked because basically the whole premise is the Babysitter's Club needs help, but they don't want to, like, they're basically like making Mallory take all these tests just because she's younger than they are, and tests that they wouldn't be able to pass themselves. I mean, they have her like drawing parts of the digestive system, and she's supposed to know this for childcare. When Claudia can't even pronounce digestive system, she says divestive system. So yeah, like it was just, they were all kind of mean girls in this book, so I didn't really have as much fun with it. So yeah. Then I read book 15, Little Miss Stonybrook and Dawn. I gave it some 4 stars. More stuff about Jeff moving to California. And the Little Miss Stonybrook pageant. Dawn and her friends help some of their babysitting charges enter the pageant. Pageants suck. Like, just in the descriptions of this book, pageants like are really bad, and you can see kind of the effects that they have on the little girls who are competing. It is so sad. So yeah. And then I read book 16, Jessie's Secret Language. I gave this one 5 stars. Made me totally cry. They get new clients, Hallie or Haley, I'm not sure, and Matt Braddock. Matt is deaf, and so Jessie is learning sign language. She basically takes care of him She takes care of them regularly. So that's her secret language. And yeah, can't say more about why this book made me cry because you should experience it yourself. Then I read the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers. It's called Amari and the Great Game. I gave it 5 stars. Can't talk about it. Then I read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I heard about this one through Reading Through Life podcast. I gave it 5 stars. I love this book. I'll read the description. As one of the few witches in Britain, Mika Moon knows she has to hide her magic, keep her head down, and stay away from other witches so their powers don't mingle and draw attention. And as an orphan who lost her parents at a young age and was raised by strangers, she's used to being alone and she follows the rules. With one exception, an online account where she posts videos pretending to be a witch. She thinks no one will take it seriously. But someone does. An unexpected message arrives, begging her to travel to the remote and mysterious Nowhere House to teach 3 young witches how to control their magic. It breaks all of the rules, but Mika goes anyway, and is immediately tangled up in the lives and secrets of not only her 3 charges, but also an absent archaeologist, a retired actor, 2 long-suffering caretakers, and Jamie. The handsome and prickly librarian of Nowhere House would do anything to protect the children, and as far as he's concerned, a stranger like Mika is a threat. An irritating, appealing threat. As Mika begins to find her place at Nowhere House, the thought of belonging somewhere begins to feel like a real possibility. But magic isn't the only danger in the world, and when a threat comes knocking at their door, Mika will need to decide whether to risk everything to protect a found family she didn't know she was looking for. Yeah, I love this book so much. It gave me all the feels. There is some swearing. I need water. Yeah, there is some swearing, and one bedroom scene. But it is totally worth it. The kids are so funny. I mean, I guess if you like dark humor, they're really funny. You might not think one of them is cute because she's always planning people's murder. She's not a real psychopath. She just does it when she doesn't like you. And so it's kind of funny just because it comes from the mouth of a kid. It's not scary, like, you're a crazy person. But, it's just really funny. I love those kids. And one of them is also a reader, like the witch kids. And just like the whole family that lives in Nowhere House. The caretakers and like the 3 older adults, and then Jamie, the younger one. Like this whole found family aspect that Mika finds herself in is so, like, it gives you the warm fuzzies. It's like my favorite kind of romance when it's kind of like this happily ever after with like kids and found family, that whole aspect of it. I love it. So, yeah. Then I decided to go back to the beginning of my Goodreads journey, like my TBR, and read a book that I put on it in like 2020. It's called Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. Basically, this woman, I already forgot her name. I didn't like anybody in this book. I gave it 3 stars, but she goes to help her her friend from boarding school take care of her kids, her stepkids. Their mom passed away, and her friend and her friend's husband, like, they're like big time politicians. He's trying to be senator or whatever. I already forgot what his position is, but she basically needs to take care of these stepchildren and keep them out of sight because they have a rather unique ability. When they get upset, they basically burst into flames. So, yeah. I didn't like the main protagonist. I didn't really like anyone in this book, like, at all. Like, all the adults just sucked. But I also needed to know what happened to the kids, so I kept going. Like, and there's too much swearing in this book, like, to the amount I don't like. I don't mind when it comes naturally, like, you know, where it just kind of happens. But, like, it was a lot. So, I just didn't like this book. Anyway, then I read Marianne's Bad Luck Mystery, Babysitter's Club Book 17, 3 stars. I also wasn't that interested in this book. Marianne finds this chain letter and tells her if she doesn't pass this chain letter on, bad luck will happen. She gets a bad luck charm, and it's a whole thing. They think that bad luck has come upon them. Not that interesting, but yeah. Then I read, this is the last book of the week, The Golden Frog Games by Claribel Ortega. I gave this one 4 stars as well. It's a sequel to Witchlings, so I can't really talk about it, but I loved Witchlings. Basically, the witches are about to get, in the first one, the witches are about to get put into their, like, houses or covens or whatever you call it, like little witches, like 11, 12-year-olds, and these 3 ones end up being the spares. So, yeah, it's a whole thing. Spares are considered, like, not the same, like, lower class, that type of thing. And, yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed the sequel to Witchlings, and I can't wait for the next one to come out. So, yeah, those are all the books that I read in the second week of October. I already started, well, a few for the third week of October. I may not do another weekly update until the end of the month, just because, I don't know, probably after reading so many books so fast, I kind of want to slow it down a little. I'm not, like, flying through books as quickly as I was. So, yeah, anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!
Speech on. Stop recording video.